Here we go with Livy. Very short bit today. Sensu perfecto. With the census completed, quem, which had matura verated, which had happened a bit earlier, metu, from fear of the law, which was carried concerning those who are not in the census. In census means you didn't partake in the sentence, which was menace with threats of vinculorums, of being put in chains, and of mortis, which is death. The guy edicted, Servius ordered basically that omnes cives Romano, that all Roman citizens, equites and pedites, the cavalry and the foot soldiers, quisque, each one, in his own centuries, which we talked about yesterday, in Campo Martio, in the Martian campus, at Prima Luce, when the sun's coming up, would adsum, they would be present. Ibi, there, in that place, instructum exercitum omnem. All the army was instructed up, they were drawn up, and looks like the king lustravited. He made a sacrifice of a suo, which is a sow, an ove, which is a sheep, and a taurus, which is a bull. They're all joined together in that word, which we've seen before. And this was a peloton, it was called the conditum lustrum, the ending or putting away of the lustrum, because is pronoun factus est, because this is the finis censendo, the end of doing the census. Milia octoginta, 80,000, ea lustra, in that lustra, decunta said, givium of the citizens to be censor, in that censor. The adicate, so added, is Fabius Pictor, the most antiquissimus, the most ancient of our script writers, of our historians. Eorum qui arma ferre possunt, eum numerum. So there were to be of those, the number of them, so this 80,000 was the number of them who were possent, they were able to bear arms, armour. Ad multitudinem, to this multitude, viz. It seemed that the Urbes, to this multitude, there should be amplificanda, the city should be amplified also. So it should be bigger, I suppose, because there's 80,000 armed people. And so the king added duos cols, two hills, the Quirinalum and the Vimialum. Okay. So the Vimialum was added, and then the Vimialum, and then the inceps in turn, adverb, he augured it, he increased the esquilis. And ibi, and there, ipsi himself, ut, so that dignitas would happen to that place, that loco and the esquilis, so the place would be considered worthy. He habitated there, he inhabited it, he lived there himself. That's what ipsi means. With an agore, rampart, and with fosses, and with ditches, and with a muro, a wall, he circumdated the city. So he put all these things around the city to protect it. And so ita, thus, he proferted, which means went out and advanced the pomerium, which is a space. Now the pomerium, vim verbi, the force of the word, solem, to those who are intuiting, so those who are looking into the force of the word or the etymology of the word itself, is interpreted to be post moerium, beyond the wall. Est dortem, it is moreover or however, more meaning circa moerium, the area around the walls. A locus which, a place which, quondam, once upon a time or some time back, the Etruscans, in condenting the Urbes, in founding the city, they would ducturi, they would lead around a murum, a wall around it. There's circa again, meaning around, with certain terminus, with certain points, you might want to say, boundaries, which they would consecrate in an inauguration. So when the Etruscans were going to found a city, they'd measure off some area with terminals, and they'd like we saw up here where Romans were sacrificing pigs and sheep and bulls. The Etruscans did the same sort of thing. So that nequi, that knot, the interior parte edifica, so that no buildings on the interior part would contingua. They wouldn't touch the walls, which now, in Livy's time, Volgo commonly even join the wall. So back in the day, the inside wall didn't touch any buildings, but nowadays it does. And the extrinsecus part, the outside part, what do we got? Puri sole, so it was pure ground alone, something which from human cultivation or anything, there's nothing there on the other side of the wall. It lay patrat, lay open, with just pure ground basically. Hoc spatium, neuter. This space, of course, neither could it be inhabited, nor was it fas to plough, to orare. Fascerat, one of these est words that takes the infinitive. So this space, it weren't allowed to inhabit or to plough it. Fas usually has something to do with the gods as well, as we saw with the sacrifices, etc. And not magus, not more because it was post the murum, not because it was behind the wall, more quam then, so magus and quam go together as correlatives, because the murus, because the wall was post it. Okay, and this is why the Romani, the Romans, plural, call it the pomerium. Okay, and that's a very short bit today. So, in census, unregistered, not enrolled in the census, not to be confused with incensus from incendo, set on fire or burnt, and incensus is a noun. So, that's one of the words we saw in the first part of today's section. Anyway, where were we? And in the incremento of the city, so in the growing of the city, semper always, quantum, that's going to be a correlative here, as much as the monia, the walls proceeded forwards, so the city's growing, so the walls were growing out further, so much again were the terminuses, or these boundaries, consecrated boundaries, were they proferabanted as well. So they'd increase the size of the city, the walls would go out, and the consecrated terminals here would stretch out as well. And that's it for the day.